Right, so today, like I said previously, we're gonna be doing a Montell2099 tutorial with a chord progression. It's completely different, and it's really weird because it's an intro, and it's not gonna sound on time, or it's gonna sound a little bit weird, but it works. And then the melody's a little bit off as well, but it works. And then I got another electric piano, and I chose a different preset, and that's gonna be the melody. And actually it's kind of loud, so as you can see, it drags on forever. But see, that's perfect as well, because we can then add emphasis to all the parts where it's actually on time. And I was actually thinking of adding something else over it. So that's another strategy that I like doing, is or that I've heard about, is producing all your melodies with one instrument first. So something versatile like this thing, the Lounge Lizard electric piano plugin. I was thinking of transitioning to a different chord progression. So so when it overlaps like that, and it starts recording back over, you can just hit Command Z and it'll take it back. So as you can tell, at the end it's gonna be really cool, and the drop's gonna transition to this melody. And obviously we can make this a little bit more bouncy and stuff, make it sound a little bit more like a Montell type of groove, little different type of vibe. Something else that Montell likes to do is use vocal chops. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is demonstrate how you would do that. And basically I organized my whole sample library quite a long time ago, so I could go ahead and do this kind of stuff. But basically you want to find, and I've been getting tons of acapellas, just downloading entire folders. Like most of these songs I don't even know what they are. But basically what an acapella is it's a song without the instrumental, so just the voice. And you want to chop out nice vowel sounds and melodic parts. If the part doesn't have any melody to it, then you can't really do much with it. So I chose a random acapella, and I actually did end up using a Rihanna one. And so we're gonna do vocal chops. I'm not particularly good with this, but we're gonna but everything comes with practice. A lot of people ask me about, or somebody asked me actually about how I do the drum arrangement and all that, and basically it's all practice. And it's the same thing with sampling and vocal chops and all that. I think it's kind of something that comes with practice. As you get better, you start to hear what can work and what doesn't. But anyways, so just a random acapella. It's not even in key. I already chose this part, and as you can tell, it has a certain it's E flat, which is a D sharp. So, and obviously there's no D sharp in this scale. It's all the white notes. So, but just to demonstrate, when you listen, out of key, and then this is just a test, but we can go ahead and move it up 6, and that takes it to an A. And the bass note of our whole progression is about at A. It is actually A. So, and as you can hear, you hear the harmony a little bit better. Or you can take it down 6 as well. Take it down an octave. And that's something he does a lot as well. A lot of people do this, including if you know him, Herzaloid. I love that dude so much. Awesome producer. He uses a lot of formant modulation, but unfortunately, like, I don't know, you can't really modulate it in Ableton, so we're gonna use a external plugin. But as you can tell, it changes the way the thing sounds. When you take off all the formants, it just sounds like a plain pitch sound. And I mean, you can make it work, but it also sounds a lot like EDM type stuff, and it sounds very corny. But as you can tell, when I bring it down 6 and I can extend it a little bit, you'll hear that it's actually in the scale now.
Boy, can you get it up? Boy, can you get it up?
But I mean, we're gonna be a little bit more creative than that. Take it back down to this. And what I'm actually gonna do is I'm going to, oh my lord, and I put my sound up again, so it was really loud in the microphone. I hope you didn't hear too much bleed through. We're gonna use a plug-in to modulate this stuff. I'm not even sure what this thing does. I'm gonna have to figure it out, but we can mess with it. And I've been messing around with it for a little bit. I'll have to get the default setting. And it does a little bit of shifting. I'm not sure exactly what it does. Yeah, but what I like to do for vocals, for vocal chops at least, is first come up with a melody that can be applied to them. So we can use I'm gonna use a piano this time, like a grand piano instrument. The Ableton is pretty good, so we don't need to use Contact or anything. And vocal chops tend to be like really repetitive, so we're not gonna go too crazy with the melody because it would be hard to recreate using the different chops. I mean, you could, but it would be hard. So I mean, if this takes too long, I'm gonna skip forward as well, because really you don't need to see a lot of this. There's a lot of pitch, octave jumps as well in vocal chops. And again, I don't do a lot of this kind of stuff, so this is a practice for me as well. I'm not very good, but if you take someone that's good at it, like Montell or Sam Galacher or something, they probably they can hear like what would work right away. So for me, it's gonna take a lot of experimenting to get it right. Also added this snare as well, just to act as a placeholder real quick while we're doing all this. So it kind of acts like a metronome. And then here's the piano melody I came up with. And that's gonna act like the vocal chop, or that's the vocal chop melody basically. So let's go ahead and listen. And then when we bring in the vocal chops instead, So basically, they're very rough, and I mean, to smooth them out, could play with the fades a little bit. But I mean, that's something I could do off camera as well. But we can go ahead and listen to it in context. Oh my god, and my volume is up again. I keep forgetting. And I mean, something else he likes to do is layer some other vocals underneath of it, and have it fill out the song a little bit more and make it less choppy, you know. I mean, there's so many things you could do to make it sound a little bit better, but I mean, I'm not particularly good with vocal chops. So yeah, I've added this effect to that. But anyways, you can also add a underneath part to smooth out the whole thing. So we can go ahead and listen to that. So, and at the end I added this part of all of the whole melody, just so that it can bring the whole thing together, add some closure. Because I mean, if I kept chopping it and kept going, it already sounds kind of sketchy. But I mean, when you add an actual phrase at the end of the whole thing, it kind of lets the listener know, like, this is like the closure to the whole thing, you know. So it kind of closes it off really nice. That's another strategy with vocal chops. Again, I'm not very good, but hopefully I'll get a little bit better. Now we can start switching out the instruments a little bit. There's a lot of good instruments that we can use that are built in to Ableton. And I'm feeling so tired right now for some reason. I can't speak or anything. And the release on this seems to be very it seems to be very high, but I fixed it. So something about Montell is that he likes to use like kind of sine sounds, like really sine wavy kind of bell and plucky sounds. So that's why I'm choosing kind of a mallet sound. Get rid of the attack, make it nice and plucky, so that it can be. I hear the Montell already. We'll make it into a more bouncy type of feel, more bouncy type of chord progression, I mean. And we can get rid of the original after. Again, it's really loud. I keep forgetting. Alright, and I'm not even talking right now because I'm so focused. I'm gonna go ahead and shift this so that it's on time, and I'm gonna go ahead and convert some of these instruments over real quick. So here's the thing, I started on the drop part of the song, and I actually arranged the whole intro. Basically what I did is I just spread out the instruments that we had crammed into just one little part, and I basically spread them out over this whole section right here, and the drop's gonna start here, and I kind of extended a little bit, and what I'm gonna do is actually oh yeah, I was gonna remove this since this was only temporary, but I'm actually gonna go ahead and play it real quick so you guys can hear, and then we're gonna add some things to make it a little bit harder as well. So as you can hear, it's like a little bit off time. I did that on purpose. It's kind of like a swingy effect. I didn't have it on perfectly though. Maybe if I do this. Yeah, you gotta kind of pull in the last one as well so that it's consistent. And this one seems a little bit early. I'm having trouble using this mouse that I'm using right now. So as you can tell, manual swing. But here's the thing, this sounds pretty plain right now, and it's an aggressive sound. It has a really sharp attack, but I mean it doesn't sound very full right now. It sounds very empty. So what I was thinking is that we can add a some kind of sawtooth or some kind of saw sound in the background of that's playing the same melody, and we're gonna pre-turn down the volume because I'm gonna play a lot with the voices. Alright, and I like turning this down to about like 20, to be honest. So then when we move the pitch the pitch cutoff between these 2 points, it's only gonna go between 0 and 20, so it's not too crazy, and I can be more accurate. I still want it to be kind of uniform, so I'm not gonna pull out the pitch any further, even though I could technically do that. I still want it to have a uniform feel to it. I love pulling up the attack because I hate having really aggressive attacks on saws. It sounds kind of weird, and I'm actually gonna alright, so that's the saw. And that's the square wave. I'm gonna also add a triangle. And obviously I forgot to turn on the volume. Alright, so also I wanted to make this a little bit wider, or a lot wider actually, and we can add some effects to it as well. Hell no, we're not doing that. See, that's something that I personally have slept on a lot. Slept on is a metaphor for not done a lot. It's sound design. I need to work on that a lot. That's an aspect of my production that is lacking. So I mean, Montell uses a lot of he occasionally uses sawtooth waves in his saw waves and saw instruments in his productions. Honestly, one of the cooler instruments and simpler to make, but we're gonna go ahead and drag this down as well. So already sounds a lot more aggressive. And here's another trick that you can do is the delay. This little tab right here is the delay for all the channels. As you can see, it's a little bit delayed. We can like pull it back like 30 ms, or we can do it I don't know what the hell that means, but I like to do it in ms. And to be honest, I kind of want to pull all this shit out. Alright, and we've done enough with that shit. Let's move on to the most important instrument in making a drop, and that's the bass. I mean, what are you doing if you don't have a bass in your drop? Like, if you have no instruments in the sub zone, it's gonna sound very weak. And Montell likes to use, it kind of sounds like an 808, but really it's a sub instrument. You're gonna need hella good headphones to hear this, but it's basically a sub instrument, and it has a saturator. I don't want to use their built-in saturator on it, so like I don't want to use this macro since it's not that customizable. So I'm gonna go ahead and delete that and then add my own to the end, so we can really mess with this shit. Oh my god, gonna have to change some of the settings, obviously. It's not that aggressive, just a little bit of saturation, and honestly it might take a while. To get it just right. I'm gonna be back in like 1 second while I do all this shit. Got it right, and I'm gonna turn down my volume real quick before it starts leaking through. And I mean, as you can probably tell by my voice, I sound a little bit tired, and that's because I just got back from school, and school makes me tired. So anyways, I'm gonna turn up the release on this thing. He always has a little bit of release on his things. He doesn't like to really glide them that much either, so we're not gonna really use that feature that much. And so yeah, we got it about right. This is a pretty low instrument, so again, you're not even probably hearing it if you don't have good enough headphones, or barely hearing it. Right now I'm playing it in higher octaves, and basically what it is it's oh fucking shit, my bad. I just pulled up the project that I'm recording to right now. But basically what it is, it's a sine wave that's been it's been low passed, and it's been low passed so that only the lower levels, so it's basically just a sub, and it's low pass, so basically just the lower levels can get through, yeah, well, that's basically what it is. But for now, we made that instrument so that we could use it, obviously. So we're gonna come up with like a bass line real quick. Again, the root of the thing is A, and I'm gonna play all the notes in A just to get the rhythm down, since that's the important part. Alright. So, oh my god. I don't know if the velocity affects it. So yeah, that's a good strategy, is to just play the rhythm out first at the bass note. So we got the basic rhythm down. What we can do now is actually, for those of you that can't even hear it, we can actually add a drum rack with a kick in it. And I'm really not even sure what kick we're gonna use for this shit. So we're gonna have to do some digging. I want a kick that's punchy. Those are decent. Yeah, I kind of like that one. We're gonna turn up the volume. Turn up, turn up, turn up. Alright. Oh, that's decent. But okay, let's go ahead and copy the rhythm of this. And as you can tell, it's clipping right now. The volume's clipping. But we can fix that later. That's kind of a weird thing going on right there. I don't know why I did that. Why I added 2 notes in a row like that. It sounds weird. Let's listen to the full thing again. Oh yeah, that's decent. I mean, sometimes that's the thing, you want to like move the notes around to make them work. Alright, and we can just duplicate this over. Wow, sounding really cool already. I already hear the whole rhythm going on. This is cool. And I mean, sometimes my ideas don't work. This is the second try. As you can tell, this was the first try. This is idea 2, and that shows you that sometimes you need to start over. Even when you get a lot of practice, sometimes an idea just doesn't work out, and it's alright to just delete it and move on. I didn't want to spend too much time on that other one. I spent a couple hours on it, but I started over. But anyways, I think this is like, oh, actually, another thing we can do that I did not cover is with these two instruments. As you can tell, they kind of clash. So what I want to do is actually sidechain this instrument right here to that one, so that the attack is from this, and then the body of the sound is from the saw waves, or the sawtooth. I can't even speak, the super saw. So that's what we're gonna do. And if you were wondering, this is just a Ableton preset. Again, I have a lot of sound design work to do, because it would be honestly pretty cool if I could make these sounds, some of these really cool synthesized, I was gonna say synthetic, but I don't know if that is a word to describe it, but it would be cool if I could make these kind of sounds by myself. But we're gonna go ahead and sidechain this to the pluck. So let's go ahead and listen to both of them. So when we take down the threshold, each time this thing hits, the super saw is gonna get taken down. But as you can tell, the release is too high, and also I think that we can turn up the volume on this, and obviously infinite decibels is way too much. That means it cuts off the sound completely. We want it to be at a reasonable level. So as you can tell, sidechaining is useful for a lot of different things, not just I mean, sidechaining is like used for a lot of different things already, so I mean, obviously it's useful. I don't know what I was gonna compare it to or say, but that's something else that we can do as well for the kick. I'm gonna go ahead and take this and sidechain the sub to the kick, so that each time the kick hits, it doesn't clash with the sub. And I think I discussed this in the comments with somebody. They were asking me some questions, but and it's clipping. Holy shit, I don't know what's going on. But it makes the whole song sound a lot cleaner. It's another strategy that you can use on your drop. You want to create emphasis in your drop. So sidechaining is another cool trick, and I don't think I've went over it or have done it in other videos. So alright, anyways, I'm gonna take a thinking break right now, because I gotta think, and you guys don't want to see that shit all day, so I'll be back in a second. Right, so I'm back, and I actually ended up finishing the entire song and arranging everything, moving some of the tracks around as well so it looks nicer. And of course I colored the drop a different color so it's more clear to you which part is the drop, and so it's less confusing. And we're gonna go over some of the changes that I made. I added a piano part at the beginning. I'm not sure if I already showed you guys this in the beginning, but basically it's the same chords as we originally had on the EP, the electric piano. I also added a melody down here, a marimba melody. Again, Montell likes to use a lot of bell sounds and sine wave sounds, so I added that just to add that Montell effect. And of course I added reverb at the outro part when it was not the drop, so it would be a little bit softer. But basically these notes are the chords from the drop, except that they are dragged out differently to have more of an arpeggiated feel to them and more of a melodic feel rather than chords. And I added a pad as well to the whole thing in the background to indicate a shift in the drop and to give it a different feel. It's basically the same chords but spread out. And of course I sidechained it to the kick just so that everything would be cleaner. And as you can see, it's a Arturia synth plugin, the vintage synths. Really like them. And at the end I added that chord progression we came up with at the beginning to the end so that it would conclude the song nicely. And I added some shaker loops, obviously. I mean, not obviously, but Montell likes to use a lot of complex drums and drum loops in the background. So to create that kind of effect, I just added the shaker loops as well and auto panned them so that they would shift from left to right so they won't clash with the rest of the sounds. And the reason I did this is because he uses shaker loops as well, but I didn't want to spend too long on the drum arrangement since you guys are waiting on these kind of videos. As well, he likes to use a lot of sparse hi-hats, and what that means is that they're spread apart and they're not together too much, and they're kind of creative in the sense that they're not constantly playing. So we can go ahead and listen to it, as well as the snare. I have two different snares for this one and that one, but we can go ahead and listen. So a little bit weird, unconventional. I could have spent a lot longer making this and making them realistic, but again, the melody and the harmonies are what counts in a whole song. So since I finished that, I wanted to get it out. And one more change I made was to the 808 or the sub instrument, and I placed it under the drum rack so I could align it with the kicks. But at the second part of the drop, I kept the same rhythm but moved the notes around so that they would be more creative sounding. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I apologize for taking so long on this. It's only been a week, but I would like to be more consistent than that. But I've been very busy with school and really stressed out with that kind of stuff. And I don't like forcing stuff out, and I don't recommend forcing things out. I took my time and finished this over multiple different days. So yeah, Montell's SoundCloud is going to be in the description as well. If you'd like to check him out, I definitely recommend it. And I hope you learned something and it was entertaining. And I encourage you to leave some feedback in the comments as well if you have anything to say. And again, thanks for watching, guys.
Tonight